Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome to another Terrible Theory. This time, I'd like to talk about The Amazing Digital Circus. The Amazing Digital Circus is a series made by Glitch Productions, and it is about a group of individuals that find themselves stuck in a virtual world, a virtual carnival, run by a rogue AI ringmaster that has them go on all these crazy, wacky adventures. All the while, they're just trapped here, and these adventures are more so just a means of keeping them entertained, so they don't go insane and ended up abstracting into these big, grotesque monsters. So that's the basic plot. And there is one thing that I have never seen anyone else talk about. I haven't seen a single other person talk about this. Or at least I haven't seen anyone have this opinion. Most people think I'd like to talk about the character of Jax. Most people think of him as just a full-on asshole who's constantly causing problems and trying to break everyone. And that's not true. In fact, I believe Jax is actually the hero of the story. I believe that everything he is doing is to keep the show going. Now, what do I mean? Well, first off, let's look at the facts. Look at everything that happens in the 3 episodes that we have. Jax is the one who Jax is the one who ends up sending Kinger and Gangle to search for where Zubul was taken. They find and that may seem like an odd choice, but just keep that in your mind because we're going to come back to that. He specifically chose those two. And then when Kaufmo abstracts, he ends up getting both of them and himself down underground, where the Glowing Queen is, protecting them. He does it in a way that makes it seem like he's an asshole, but if they had stayed up there, they would have been found by the abstracted Kaufmo. So he actually saved them. He saved them, but he did it in a very entertaining way. Then, look at what happens in the second episode. Almost every single event that occurs in the second episode is directly caused by Jax's actions. He is making things happen throughout it. He is causing chaos and making things happen throughout it. And then in the third episode, they are specifically told this door is really friendly and really nice. This door is really scary. And then what's Jax do? He says, I wonder which one is the scary door, even though he was just told which one it was. And he throws Gangle's masks towards the door that they were just told is the scary door. And that causes Kinger to go try to grab it, which causes him and Pomni to end up getting trapped in the scary route. He made that happen. So many things that happen because Jax is the one who's making them happen. But why? Why is he making them happen? I think that the main reason is because he is one of the few characters. One of the only 2 characters in the entire show that actively breaks the fourth wall. And I'll get back to that here in a minute, but I do want to point out one last thing. is that a lot of people like to say that he is just a complete asshole. He has no sympathy. He has no sympathy. He has no empathy whatsoever. And that's just not true. In the second episode, at the end, it is a very quick blink and you miss it moment. But at the end of the episode, when Pomni is being told that whenever someone abstracts, they usually have a little funeral service for them. And so that they're doing that for Kaufmo. They're doing it for Kaufmo. And it cuts to Jax, and he actually shows a face of sadness for just a brief second. He shows a face of sadness before quickly shaking it off and going back to being grumpy, and he just walks off. He's not there at the funeral. He just walks off back to his room. Because not everyone is going to show grief in the same way. There are some people, like Jax, who won't show their grief for losing someone until they're in the privacy of their own room. So Jax does have empathy and sympathy. He does feel those things. He does feel those things. He just doesn't want to show it to other people. Because he's the crazy one. He's the jerk. He's the asshole. He's the one that's constantly picking on everybody else. He can't be showing weakness. That's not part of his character. That's not supposed to be part of his character. He openly acknowledges that everything here is a cartoon. He straight up says to Pomni, "I want to see what your cartoon body does." No other character that is trapped there thinks of this as a cartoon. To them, this is real. Like, their bodies are real, not cartoons. To all of them, their bodies are real. They think they're in a live action show. And all of this is real. It's all reality. But Jax, he fully acknowledges this is a cartoon. And he's one of only 2 characters that actively does this. He actively calls out that it is a show, that this is a show for entertaining people. The other character is Bubble. Bubble actively makes fourth wall jokes. Bubble is actively making fourth wall jokes. Bubble in the newest episode, Bubble straight up says in a backwards message that he can't wait to see how many viewers are going to be traumatized by the monster. Actively acknowledging this is a show meant for entertainment. And every show needs that one jerk that makes things happen, that is an antagonist. Every show needs an antagonist. Jax is filling that role of the antagonistic role. He is being a jerk because that is what is necessary. There needs to be conflict. There needs to be internal conflict with the group in order to keep things interesting. So why though? Why would he do this? And before I actually move on, I do want to actually point out one last thing about Bubble. Bubble not only is making fourth wall jokes, but also Bubble is the only one who can actually curse. When you look at how other characters curse in the series, it's always like some random crazy sound effect with a censor bar over their mouth. But Bubble, when he curses in the second episode, it's not the same. They don't do the same wacky noise with the censor bar. No, it's a beep. It's just a beep, a standard beep that you would normally see in shows get edited during post. Meaning, unlike everyone else, Bubble is not being held to the same rules as all these other characters that are trapped here. And we know that Bubble, and also, Bubble can't be the same thing as Kane, because Kane can't curse. Kane can't curse. He's an AI, and he doesn't curse. He's not able to curse. Same thing with all the other, same thing with all of the other AIs that we've seen. All the other AIs we've seen throughout the series so far have been unable to curse. But Bubble can. Bubble can curse, and they have to fix it in post. So what does that mean? What does that mean, and why does Jax and how does Jax fit into all of this? Well, put simply, Bubble is the true mastermind. Bubble is playing the part of Kane's quirky sidekick, but in reality, Bubble is a human that is portraying an avatar. This is an avatar, a character in a game being controlled by an outside source. And they are there to make sure things stay interesting. They're there to make sure the show continues to be interesting. Because Bubble and Jax understand that this is a show on YouTube. They understand that. This is getting into meta territory. This is getting into some pretty meta territory, but I do think that Jax and Bubble fully understand that this is a YouTube show. They fully understand that, and what happens with shows when they get boring and stop being interesting, people lose interest. And then what happens? The show gets canceled. And if the show gets canceled, what's going to happen to all of the people who are still trapped in there? They'll be erased from existence. They'll be completely erased from existence. Like there will be nothing left of any of them. So the show has to continue at least long enough for the people to find a way to get out. It has to continue. And I think Bubble is doing that. Bubble and Jax are working together in order to try to make sure that the show continues to stay interesting. It continues to last long enough so that way, until the point where they have a way of getting everyone out. They're working together. Jax is actively working to keep things interesting. That's why he's playing the part of the antagonist. He wants to make sure that everyone stays entertained. He wants to make sure the show continues to be entertaining, so the plug does not get pulled on the show. And you might think, okay, well, what about? And you might think, okay, well, how can you tell that Bubble is an actual person and not an AI? Well, there's one detail about Bubble that I don't see anyone ever talking about. How is it that Bubble continues to die and keeps respawning? How does Bubble continue to die and yet continues to respawn over and over and over? Bubble is constantly getting popped. And yet in the next scene, he's perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine and has all the memories of before he was popped. How is that possible? If it was a new Bubble if this was a new NPC each time, then it wouldn't have any of the memories of the previous Bubble. Yet it has all the memories of the previous Bubble, which means it's the exact same Bubble. It's getting murdered, it's getting killed, popped, dead, and yet it comes back each time. If an AI was being murdered, it would just be erased, like gummy goo. Completely erased forever. So clearly that's not what's happening, and we know that it can't be another human trapped in here, because the humans can't die. They can't die, and yet Bubble can. So so it can't be a human trapped, and it can't be an AI, which means it's a human controlling a character. It's an avatar. Bubble is just an avatar. When it dies, it respawns. Just like how when you die in a game, you respawn. And you get to try again. That is what Bubble's situation is. Bubble is being controlled by a human on the outside. And so, okay, so let's say that Bubble and Jax do know that it is a show. How is it being recorded? Well, the answer has been in front of us the whole time. The eyes. The show has a whole lot of symbolism with eyes. With eyes, watching the characters, watching their every move. That is not only symbolism of the camera. The cameras. Every single eye is just a camera showing a different angle of the character's adventures. But also, it's also a reference to us, the viewers, the ones watching it. We are the all-seeing eyes. We are the ones analyzing every single frame of the show. That's why, even though Kane says they're his all-seeing eyes, he never knows. He never knows where anyone is. He's always asking, "Oh, where's this person? Where's that person? What happened here?" Shouldn't he know? Shouldn't he know where everyone is and what's going on? If all of these eyes are under his control, shouldn't he know? No, he doesn't, because they're not his eyes. They're cameras. They're cameras. They are that are catching every possible angle of these characters and their adventures. That's what it is. That's what it is. And also, Kane says at the end of the second episode, that if he loses track of who's an AI and who's real, who knows what could happen, which hints that it's happened before. And a lot of people in the theorist community have been talking about who it could possibly be, and like Jax is the one that a lot of people seem to be agreeing on that it's probably him. But I think it's Bubble. Bubble is a real person, but he's lost track of that, and so he thinks Bubble is an AI. Also, little interesting tidbit is that a couple interesting tidbits. One, Kane admits in the third episode that he was created to make adventures. That is what he exists to do. That is what he exists to do. He doesn't exist to entertain an audience on YouTube. He doesn't exist to keep souls trapped here. He was created to make adventures for all of these people to go on. That is his purpose. That is his purpose. He openly admits that that's all he's good at. He also doesn't give a crap about what is legal and what is illegal. He straight up admits to being a war criminal in the third episode. He doesn't care what's legal and what's illegal. But you know who does? Bubble. In the first episode, Bubble ends up making dinner for everybody at the end, and says the line, "It's made with all the love I am legally allowed to give." Bubble cares about what's legal. Kane doesn't, and that's because Bubble understands this is a show on YouTube. And they have to make sure to keep things legal. They have to make sure to follow certain legal guidelines in a show. And let's see. Okay, I have a list of talking points here. I've hit almost every single one of them. So yeah, I 100% believe that Bubble is a person on the outside that has an avatar, that has Bubble as an avatar, that is constantly dying and respawning because it's not an actual AI, nor is it a human trapped. It is a character being controlled, dying and respawning, and it is trying to keep things interesting, keep the show entertaining, so it does not get canceled, and the characters can continue to live and survive until they can find out how to get them out. And Bubble needed someone on the inside. They needed someone on the inside who could play the part of the antagonist, someone who could be a complete and total asshole to everybody else. Someone who could make things happen at the expense of everyone else, and at the expense of their own likability. And Jax fit the bill perfectly. Jax is actively working to try to keep the show going. He is trying to keep the show going so he doesn't have to watch everyone be erased from existence. He is saving everyone. Or he is trying to. He is doing his best to save everyone. And he knows that nobody likes him. He knows that that everyone is actively against him. He understands that. But that doesn't matter, because as long as they can get out, he will take that badge with honor. As long as he can continue to keep things entertaining until everyone is able to get out, he is okay with playing the part of the bad guy. Kane has no idea that any of this is going on. He only exists to make his adventures. He doesn't understand anything else. He doesn't know what's going on in the circus. He's just as trapped here as any of the humans are. He doesn't understand what's going on, and he probably won't. But yeah, and as one last piece of information, Glitch made a list showing the characters that are going to be important in all future episodes. In the third episode, it was Kinger and Zubul. In the fourth episode, it's Gangle. In the fifth episode, it's Ragatha. In the sixth episode, and there's going to be 9 episodes. Episodes 7, 8, and 9 are all a mystery. And that's because those 3 episodes, shit's gonna hit the fan. And that's when all of the big lore drops are gonna be revealed. All the mysteries are gonna be solved. All the big plot twists are going to happen in those 3 episodes. And what character gets the main focus in the episode right before shit gets crazy? Jax. Why Jax? Unless he's tied to all the craziness. They saved Jax for last because if they had him show up, if they had his episode be sooner than that, it would give away the fact that he's been working with Bubble the entire time in order to keep the show on YouTube going. That is my theory. Jax is the hero. He is trying to help save everyone by keeping the show going for as long as possible until Bubble and whoever Bubble is working with on the outside can find a way to get these people out of there. So, there we go. That is my theory on the Amazing Digital Circus. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a good theory? Do you think it falls flat on its face? Let me know in the comment box below. I would love to have a discussion with you guys. I love this series. I love all 3 episodes that we've gotten so far. They've all been fantastic. And who's your favorite character in Amazing Digital Circus? Personally, mine is Kinger. I love Kinger. Yeah, just let me know what you think in the comment box below. So, in any case, I've been Animon Clandora. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.